Episode 212. Whose daughter are you? Feeling the warmth of his breath, Miranda's heart raced.
You put on makeup and perfume for me.
Stephen inhaled deeply.
And you said you don't like me?
His voice was a bit low, like a feather tickling her heart. Miranda blushed more and more. Crouching down, she said, "My mom bought it for me. It's the first time I've tried this perfume."
Oh, the first time for me. Quite meaningful.
Stephen leaned in and stopped her from bending her knees.
I'm sure the second, third, and many times after that will all belong to me.
First time, Miranda pushed him, but he did not budge. "Stephen, you're a funny man. You can't get Lila, so now you're badgering me? Is it a game for you? Or are you trying to get close to me to use me against my boss?" Stephen's look finally changed. He suddenly grinned, showing his gleaming teeth. He said ambiguously,
"You could think that."
Miranda felt suffocated. Her guess was one thing, and his confession was another. She could not pretend that she did not care about being used. She gritted her teeth and hit her head against his chin. "Go to hell!" Caught off guard, Stephen held his chin and stepped back. Miranda took the chance to push him away, opening the door. Stephen looked mad and yanked her back, pushing her down to the floor. She fell on the carpet and let out a scream. He crouched down and held her hand.
"Miranda, I mean it. Marry me, any time."
She was so angry that she laughed. Kicking her legs, she sneered. "I'm sorry, but I have no intention of marrying a pervert and a killer."
"A pervert?"
He chuckled and threw her on the bed. Taking his jacket off, he said,
"Miss Young, I could be a worse pervert than you think. Haven't you heard of me?"
She rolled on the bed. Hearing his words, her heart was in her throat. Rolling and crawling, she brought herself to the door. She had witnessed how bad Stephen could be. When he was working for Lila, he had no limit. She had thought that Stephen was somewhat Jake's person, so they would be on the same team now. However, she felt upset, and her eyes became wet. Seeing the door getting closer and closer, she was pinned down to the floor by him. Her chin knocked on the floor, and she let out a scream in terror and pain. Bursting into tears, she cried, "Please don't! Please let me go, Stephen!" Seeing her tears, his cruel look disappeared completely. In a fret, he helped her up and pretended to say,
"You called me a pervert, so I will show you what a pervert does."
With that said, Miranda cried even harder. Holding his forehead, Stephen got up and threw a bunch of tissues on her face.
"Shut up!"
She wiped her face dry. She shrank back, afraid that he was going to approach her again.
"Go away!"
Stephen waved his hand. Miranda was dazed. What does he mean? Seeing her being dumbstruck, he growled,
"Leave, now!"
Miranda then brought herself to feet and ran out. However, she discovered that she did not have any money on her. Was she going to walk back? Although it only took them less than 20 minutes to get here by taxi, the time would definitely double if she walked. After hesitating for a while in the hallway, Miranda did not go back to ask Stephen for money and walked back. When she was home, it was more than half an hour later. She looked in the mirror in the hallway. Her chin was slightly blue. But if she did not look up, it should be invisible. She adjusted her posture before pushing the doorbell. The minute the door was opened, Miranda saw the face that she had just sworn she would never see again in her life. Seeing her, Stephen smiled and called out,
"Mother, father, Miranda's back."
Hearing how he addressed everyone, Miranda was petrified. Serena and Jake had still not found Travis's home. They had to call him to come get them. Travis only got there 20 minutes later. Travis's home was a medium-sized house. The decorations looked very traditional. It was different from the old house of the Robinson family. The Green family home was very simple. In the living room, ancestors, God of Fortune, Buddha, and all kinds of deities were being honored with burning incense. Made out of peach wood, the set of furniture looked seasoned. An old woman with long gray hair was sitting there, wearing a gold ring, a gold bracelet, and a gold chain with a ruby pendant. She seemed to be in her 60s or 70s. Her eyes were silver gray. Noticing their arrival, she turned around and asked, overjoyed, "Are you back?" Standing up, she tried to walk to them. Travis walked up and helped her sit down again.
"Mom, sit down."
Serena and Jake walked in and called out, "Grandmother!" The woman was overjoyed. Looking at Serena, her smile became stiff.
"This is..."
Serena blinked, looking to Travis.
"Wait up."
She seemed to be reminded of something and immediately walked into her room. Before long, she walked back with a framed photo in her hand. Looking at the photo and then Serena, her eyes became red.
"Camilla. You must be Camilla."
"Grandma, I'm not..."
"You have not changed a bit after so many years. But how did you have the heart to leave my son? Did you know how he spent his years?"
She sobbed and looked at Jake.
"Who's this?"
Travis quickly came over and said,
"Mom, you're mistaken. This is my goddaughter, Serena. I told you about her. This is her husband, Jake Robinson."
She looked at the photo and compared it to Camilla's.
"You both are so much alike. You must be Camilla's daughter, right?"